program manager here. I'm joined by a couple colleagues. Matt Donnelly is our community manager. Mike Panessis, who I think will be coming in shortly, is the executive director for the Stephen Dorfman Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, under which Hub 101 sits. Anyone here for the first time? Amazing, oh my goodness, welcome, welcome, welcome. So when Calvert opened Hub 101 in 2014, it was supposed to be not just for students. So yes, it serves Calvert students, but it was really important to the university that this was a space for entrepreneurs in our community. So you will find students in the space. You will also find tech startups. You will find small and medium-sized enterprise entrepreneurs, freelancers, and a whole variety of others. Tonight, how this is going to work, or actually Hub 101 also is a community. So first and foremost, we're a launch pad. We really want to support entrepreneurs. We have programs, we have mentorship, we have events and other resources to support the success of startups. Welcome, come on in. There's some seats at the front if you're brave. If not, you can stand at the back. IdeaToDo. So why you all came here today? So we launched this program in 2020, October, middle of the pandemic. And we really wanted to find a way to better support tech startups. And so we created this program. It's 14 weeks, and it focuses on early stage, and sometimes even idea stage startups. And so in 14 weeks, we really focus on business model development, customer development. We build a prototype, and then we also work on their stories in the form of a pitch deck, which is what you will be hearing tonight. So how this works, from 4 to 5, you'll hear 9 startup presentations back to back. There's no Q&A in between. And then after that, we will have food come, so please enjoy the food. And then you will find 9 tables around the perimeter where you can mingle, see product demos, get to talk to the founders, ask questions and whatnot. So I can get us back on time. And for those of you online, thank you for joining us. I'm so sorry that you will not be able to do the networking component. I hope to welcome you to one of our events in the future. Without further ado, if you could please join me in welcoming our first presenter, Irfan Khan, the founder of Supernova Academy Inc.
So first of all, before we get into the presentation, just want a quick thank you for coming, right? And I want to hear some cheer, okay? Is everybody cheer tonight? Okay, perfect. Let me know where to start. All right. Let me know when to start. Okay. All right. So thank you for coming. My name is Irfan Khan. I'm the CEO and founder of Supernova Academy, a platform built for offering medical education, built on the foundation of AR, AI, and VR. Medical knowledge is expanding at a phenomenal rate. It is impossible to contain, assimilate, and present the content in real-time fashion. The lack of surgical practice combined with shortage of medical practitioners is the leading cause of death in the world today. Okay? 5 billion people with no access to safe surgery. Okay, 5 billion people. 100,000 people, lives were lost because of medical mistakes in the US alone. Okay? And $20 billion is spent on medical mistakes. Okay? The numbers are staggering. It makes me upset. It makes me angry. And we must do something, right? But before we know what to do, we have to do something special. Okay? And with that, I'd like to present Supernova Academy, where we build a platform which is AI-driven, adaptive learning, 3D software, 3D visualization by AR, and also VR-powered immersion, okay? Providing the best solution for getting a deeper understanding of anatomical structures and physiological processes. In fact, we meet or exceed the highest medical standards today. So what is the magic sauce, right? So the first thing is we use, So the first thing is we use AI-powered video lecture.
Hello. Hola. Привет. Хеяшу.
And also we use AR access through your video, your phone, your tablet, or any mobile device, where you can interact with the organ as it is in front of you. In fact, we have demos today. As we're done with this presentation, you can walk through demo. That's one. The most important one, you can do virtual dissections in the safety of your area, okay, using headset, right? And actually, we have this as well. So essentially, what we're showing here is that you can do dissections using laser, which is basically inside your headset, and we have a demo of that as well. Okay. So our target market actually comprises of a global stage today, right? We have identified 4 continents across the world based on the number of universities today. Okay? If you're a student in New York, or if you are a resident in Tokyo, or if you're a medical practitioner in London, you'll get the same level of medical knowledge, doesn't matter, right? In fact, if you are a student in Africa, remote part of Africa, and the only resource you have is your mobile device, and the only language you know is Swahili, you can take the course, right? So our model is, our revenue model is very flexible, right? We can offer subscriptions to students, individual users. We offer licensing to universities, okay? And also we offer flexible options with enterprises. Our market size, based on our addressable market, we have a compelling case for growth, ladies and gentlemen. According to World Health Organization today, $93 billion is spent on medical education overall. Out of that, $60 billion is spent online, and out of that, we're targeting 20% of the market. Okay? And last but not least, the market is supposed to reach 150 billion by 2030, which is a huge number, right? Even though we're not the only ones in the marketplace, but as you can see with the features that we offer the best solution on the planet. I'm not kidding. Okay? With multiple languages, NIH-based content, right? As far as the strategy goes, we are actually working with colleges, institutions, developing relationships with them, okay? And we're actually making them our collaborators, okay? Secondly, we're working with ambassador programs across the world to reach the audience, okay? And the last but not least, we are doing continuous beta testing, ladies and gentlemen, to improve the product. What we're looking for tonight, for investors, we're looking for $1.5 million in a convertible loan for 18-month runway for product development, enhancement, and IP expansion. Our timeline has been extremely busy last year, but I like to focus on the last 2 months, okay? In November, we completed a major beta testing with a major customer called Project IMG, okay? And we also did demos for Cal Lutheran University as well as Mopar College, and we got huge accolades from them, okay? In December, we got the VR software licensing from Glasgow School of Art. By the way, Glasgow School of Art is the same level as Johns Hopkins University in the US. And they are the ones who actually produce the software we use. And last but not least, we hired a regional marketing director in Africa region. This is the team here, myself. My background actually is product management, program management, and process improvement. And I'm personally responsible for producing $50 million in revenue over my course of. And also I was a co-founder of another organization called Project Knowledge Academy. Dr. Brand is our Chief Medical Officer. She is overseeing the content development, being a doctor, right? She's an ambassador from Algeria to US, and she's very passionate about saving human lives. Bill, who's here, by the way, he is a senior director of public relations. He has worked over 20 plus years in major high-tech companies. Aman, who's also here, he's basically overseeing the technical development of AR, VR, and AI, and he's working closely with Dr. Brand, because there has to be a collaboration, right? And the last person I'd like to share with you is Dr. Majara, who's actually a regional managing director of the African region. He's overseeing 45 plus universities. Okay? So our reach is very global. So with that, I leave here tonight with a couple of very important points that you can see. I'm not going to read those to you, but with a plea to make education the most important element and help us save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfan. If you can now join me in welcoming up our next presenters, Sylvia Bevan and Antonio Gomez, co-founders of Dobbi Care.
Hi there, I'm Sylvia. I'm a nurse case manager with 20 years of domain experience, and this is Antonio, my co-founder and CFO. As a nurse case manager, I've talked to thousands of families and learned very quickly that finding in-home care is a major problem. Because the market is highly fragmented, families find it extremely confusing and difficult to find care. The home care agencies that are out there are also very expensive. On average, they charge $30 to $35 an hour. They require contracts and they have hourly minimums. And the tech platforms out there haven't changed in 15 years. They largely work like inflexible job boards. So presenting to you Dobbi, made specifically for the 65 million Americans taking care of an elderly family member. So there's Uber for transport, there's Instacart for our groceries, there's Rover for our pets, and now there's Dobbi for our care needs. Dobbi solves the problem because our platform simplifies finding care. At the swipe of a screen, find the care that you need on demand from anywhere and at any time. We're also more affordable. Our caregivers are going to be projected to charge 30% less than the other guys. There's no contracts and no hourly minimums. We're also more flexible. Our families can book the care they need whenever they need it.
So how does it work? We're building a two-sided marketplace powered by caregivers in the sharing economy. When a user has a need for care, they simply visit our platform, browse through the potential caregivers who meet their specific criteria, and they send out one or more invitations to potential caregivers. The first caregiver who is interested and available accepts the offer, and a booking is created. Let's look at some numbers. The market for senior care in the US is massive, more than $740 billion in the US each year. When you look at the services that are actually done in-home, you're looking at medical care, non-medical care, and medical equipment. The total value there is estimated at $143 billion. Our target market is the unskilled or the non-medical portion of those services that are done in-home. By the way, this over here, the $143 billion, that's actually growing at a rate of 7.5% per year. We anticipate that we'll be charging a 15% fee or commission on each and every booking that's generated through the platform. And at maturity, we think that there's a potential to generate more than $500 million in bookings per year through this business. That would equate to about 2% share of that target market.
Okay, so some of you might be asking why now? Well, there's a looming senior care crisis. Every day, 10,000 Americans are retiring. Within 6 years, there will be 70 million people, or 20% of the population. And of this group, 93% are saying they want to age in place, meaning stay in their own homes. And of course, this is putting a massive burden on their families who are stepping in to provide their care. So we've done extensive market validation. We surveyed hundreds of people. 90% confirmed that they find finding in-home care difficult. And of those that looked at our product, 73% want Dobbi on their phones for affordable and flexible care. On the other end of the marketplace, with the caregivers, 60% already work a side hustle. 25% already work for Instacart or Uber. So not surprisingly, 88% want to pick up care gigs on the side. This group is very interested in working with Dobbi.
Here's our view of the current competitive landscape. When we talk to our potential customers, the things that came out loud and clear was, number one, they value flexibility and cost above all else. And number two, they also shared that need, that combination of needs, isn't currently being met. So what we're attempting to do here, we're building our business around the strategy and value proposition of providing the most flexible in-home care at the lowest cost possible. Here's a look at our team. Sylvia, of course, is our expert in healthcare with 20 years of domain experience. My background is finance and sales analytics, where I spent most of my career in financial services. Prashant is our tech advisor. He provides an enterprise architecture expertise. He's here. And he has spent his career in fintech. Bobby is one of the leading partners. This is Bobby with Campaign Creators. They're one of the leading partners in the HubSpot ecosystem. As far as traction, we came to Hub 101 just over 3 months ago with not much more than an idea. Since then, we've performed extensive customer research and validation. We built a prototype, tested that prototype with potential users. We've incorporated that feedback, and we're now gearing up to launch the development of our app starting later this month. Finally, our ask is simple. We believe that this idea has tremendous social value, and we're deeply committed to this cause for personal and professional reasons. We're asking you to visit dobbicare.com, and when you have a need for care, when your family or friend has a need for care, please remember us. We are Dobbi Care.
Thank you very much. I'd like to next welcome up Jessie Carmani, the founder of Frequency. Please give her a round of applause.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessie Carmani. I'm the founder of Frequency, an ad-free social network where people are the customer, not the product. I have a question for you. Have you ever done a social media detox? Especially after the new year, I think a lot of folks are doing that, right? And when you ask them why, they say it's because they're worried about the way these apps are affecting their mental health. And I think that's with good reason, because each new social network we join starts off engaging and promising, but over time, I think we find ourselves trapped in an adversarial relationship with these apps. It looks a little something like this, right? And why does this happen? Well, it's simple. Any free social network makes money by showing you ads. They're going to want to show you as many ads as possible. That means that they will always design their user interfaces and their algorithms in a way to keep you scrolling for as long as possible. That means you start off with personal updates, and eventually that content gets pushed out by things like clickbait articles, conspiracy theories, influencer content. Literally anything the algorithm can figure out will keep you scrolling for longer and longer. And as users, we all notice this, don't we? So what happens? We start posting less, we start engaging less. But what I hear when I talk to people is they feel trapped in this situation. Even if they want to leave these networks, they feel like they can't. This is where their friends are. So what are they supposed to do? At Frequency, we want to offer you an alternative. We believe that the places you go to socialize and connect with your friends and family shouldn't be violating your privacy, enraging, and addicting you for profit. We want to offer a private place where you can share your personal life with family and friends, where you don't have to deal with any of that. And we promise we will never build things that track you all over the internet, target you with ads, or keep you scrolling for hours and hours. And because we're not focusing our resources on building that, we can instead build tools that help you get more control over your social networking experience and have a more intentional experience. That includes control over who can see what you're posting, control over what you're seeing in your feeds, and even control over who you connect with, because we want to let you connect with people outside of Frequency. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's take a look at what it looks like to use Frequency. When you first sign up, we ask you to set an intention.
Other side.
Other side? All right. And frequency can remind you to make a post about that intention. All right.
Just talk louder.
All right. Frequency can remind you to post about that intention. You can choose your audience, and the result is a focus post that centers your beautiful content, rather than social media metrics such as likes or comments. Those are all still an important part of the social networking experience, but it's not the focus of frequency. Another way that frequency works is it's a federated social network. If you haven't heard of this before, what that means is that your friends and family don't actually have to be on frequency for you to connect and share with one another. You can search for and follow anybody on any other federated social network. And the graph to the left shows you the variety of federated social networks that are available right now and how they've been growing over the past couple of years. The most exciting part about federated social networking recently is that Meta's new social networks, Threads, is actually in the process of implementing this federated protocol. That means that when they come on, I think federation is going to explode. It's going to be the future of social networking, where we all get to choose where we host our content, but still be able to connect with one another. Well, speaking of competitors, let's look at how frequency compares to them. We all know the big guys with their teams of thousands of engineers and designers have really cornered the market on usability. It's so usable that it's addicting us, right? Now you may not recognize some of these smaller players in the lower quadrant, such as Mastodon and PixelFed. These are the new federated social networks that currently interconnect with frequency. And while they are our competitors, they're also an alliance. The more people there are on those networks, the more people there are in general for you to connect with and share with. So I think that at the end of the day, frequency will still beat them out in terms of usability. That's because a lot of these projects are small, open source teams who don't have a lot of resources. So what they end up doing is just kind of poorly copying the big guys' features, whereas at frequency, we're really trying to redesign the social experience from first principles. Now, because I'm not showing you ads, you are going to have to pay a little bit for frequency. We ask you to sign up for a subscription, but I really try to minimize the costs as much as possible. So for less than a typical cup of coffee a month, you could be feeling better about where you're posting your content and have a calmer, more intentional social experience. Now, I've been using the royal we when I talk about frequency, but there is no big corporation behind this. It's just me. So why should you trust me to build something like this? Well, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science from UC Berkeley, and I've spent the last decade in Silicon Valley tech and startups. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most brilliant engineers at the scale of millions of users and at the intersection of open source and consumer technology. I've also been a very strong advocate for privacy my entire career. In fact, when I was graduating from Berkeley, it was when all of these big ad tech networks were being born. And I didn't like what I was hearing from them. In fact, I turned down many interviews and job offers, including at places like Facebook, because I just didn't think what they were building was right for the world, and I didn't want my skills to be used for that. So this mission is personally meaningful for me, and I think my entire career has kind of built up to building something like frequency. So my ask of you is try it out. You can scan this QR code and sign up. I'm offering a 30-day free trial. What I want you to do is try posting frequency in addition to your normal social network. If you normally use Facebook or Instagram, post a frequency, the same thing that you would do. Maybe invite a friend or two to join you. Or not, you could just use it yourself as your own personal photo journal and try to keep it really calm and intentional. At the end of 30 days, I'm going to reach out to you. I would love to hear your feedback. My hope is that you'll feel better about posting your personal life to frequency, and you'll enjoy the calmer, more intentional design. And at the end of those 30 days, you couldn't imagine going back to the big guys. Thank you.
Okay, next up, I'd like, please join me in welcoming Jonathan Woodward, the founder of Moxzey.
Hello. Oh man, silence. I've never gotten that before. I'll try it again. Hi everybody. There we go. Woo. Oh man. Well look, I don't have much time, but before I get started, I do want to give a quick round of applause to Kristen and the team for putting this on. This is so awesome. So, Kristen, can I move around or do I stay here?
You can move around.
Oh.
We have two cameras.
Uh-oh. You're in trouble. All right, so I'm super excited to introduce you to my company called Moxzey. We're a mission-driven organization that's intended to provide underrepresented professionals with the tools to negotiate and earn their worth. So to get started, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine named Ruben. So Ruben and I went to UC Berkeley together, go Bears, and Ruben is a first-generation college student like myself. He's a product manager. He was taught to be grateful, to not cause any issues. That's what I was taught. You get a job, you take the job, don't ruffle any feathers. He just got an offer at his dream company, and he called me. He's like, Jonathan, I got the job. We were recruiting at the same time. I'm like, Ruben, that's fantastic, man. That's awesome. What are the details? So let me introduce you to Ruben's offer. So he was offered $87,000 as his base pay. He got a 10% bonus each year, which brought his new base salary after a year to a little over $91,000. And he called me, he's like, yeah, I got the offer. And I was like, awesome, man. Like, so did you negotiate? And the phone fell silent. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? Dream company, I'm getting paid a lot. I took the offer. Come on, man, we're going to the Bears Lair, this local pub in Berkeley, to celebrate. I hang up the phone, and I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be an awkward celebration. Because unlike Ruben, I had a mentor in my life that taught me how to negotiate. So I want to introduce you to my offer. Don't tell Ruben, he knows now, but anyways. So my final offer. So my final offer was $103,000. I got a 10% bonus, but that brought me to a little over $108,000. And what this represents is a delta of $17,600, which is known as the ask gap, or the difference of what you could have earned if you only asked and negotiated. So what's the problem? Well, a lot of people just don't know what to say. They get tongue-tied, the stakes are high. They're not sure, they don't want you to rescind the offer, God forbid. There's a lack of negotiating confidence and skill. Raise your hand if you were taught how to negotiate a salary. You're lucky. You're lucky. I'm serious. Third, there's major information asymmetry. As the candidate, you almost know nothing. As the company, they have recruiters, hiring managers, comp specialists, etc. And finally, plain and simple, there's bad information online. If you go onto Google and you search salary negotiation best practices, here's what you're gonna find. An HBR article with the top 5 takeaways, 10 things to never say, your Harry Potter house of negotiation style. It's like the Wild West. So what we did is we created Moxzey, and we provide our product in 4 different areas. One is our success share negotiation coaching. The second is personalized market insight reports, custom scripts, and finally, Moxzey Negotiations Academy, which is coming soon. It's an online learning platform that will teach you how to negotiate for in-the-moment negotiation needs and later in life. So let's talk about success share negotiation coaching. It's no listicles, no one-size-fits-most advice. They're real people, not programs. We're not going to take your inputs, put it into an algorithm, and spit back at you boilerplate strategy negotiation. We're not going to do that. It's data-backed. We know what works and what doesn't. It's risk-free, and this is why we call it success share. You can work with Moxzey for $0 up front, and we're only successful if you're successful. Our second product is our most popular. It's called our market value report. So let's say James gets an offer. He sends the offer details. We send that out to our hundreds of advisors that provide tailored feedback on his offer, as well as specific negotiation advice from people with the same titles, in the same industry, and in many cases at the same company. Our business model is super straightforward. We charge a 10% contingency fee on the amount we get you above your original offer. We charge a flat fee for our custom market value report, as well as our script builder. A little bit more about me. I'm a tech marketer. I've worked at some of the biggest tech companies in the world. I worked in HR and recruiting for many years. I went to UC Berkeley, got my MBA at Duke. I'm an expert negotiator. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, and it's something I'm super passionate about. But traction is something I'm really, really proud of. We've had 5 paying clients in a very short period. 100% of those clients increased their salaries. Up to 25K was our largest. 100% of clients would recommend Moxzey to a friend. Here's a quick testimonial. Working with Moxzey was incredible. I felt so much more confident going into the negotiation and got $15,000 over my initial offer. So I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to make a big ask to all of you. So here's my ask. If you know of people that could use negotiations help, reach out. We're looking for beta testers and early adopters, and certainly looking for advisors so we can learn and grow and increase our impact. So if you want to help us close the ask gap, please reach out and speak to me at the Moxzey table. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming Lisa McCarthy, the founder of meyeVU Interactive.
Hello, everyone. I hold the power. So, my name is Lisa McCarthy, and I'm founder of meyeVU Interactive. By a show of hands, how many of you know that there's a mental health crisis? And so, for most of us, we've gone through something in life. For me, I grew up in foster homes. I survived breast cancer just recently, and I'm so freaking grateful to be alive. And because of that, I thought, what's missing is the messaging we give to ourselves. It's the most important thing we can do is how do you talk to yourself, right? How many of you look in a mirror every day, right? Everybody does. So what we've done is we combined hardware with AI to create products that will help people with their mental health and their confidence. Most people struggle with the confidence, and mental health issues rise every single year. So this product is basically very simple, and it helps you create a positive state of mind. What you say to yourself is what is most important. So I'm having nervous breakdown. We're getting my entire script, so let's just go for it. 80% of the people we surveyed said that they'll gift something to someone who will absolutely make them feel better. And it's important to both people, what they give and what they get, because the experience is important. When you support someone, they feel the love. And so most of us spend time picking out gifts for people with the thought of how will this impact their life. So I actually have a demo in my pocket. So it's a simple mirror, first version. You simply open it.
I deserve the best. I awaken to my highest and best potential. Today is the best day of my life.
Even if I'm nervous. You can simply open it, record your own messages, and record, repeat, play. You can listen to it through your headset, a speaker, or Bluetooth. So we're in the process of developing all of that right now. And this doesn't fit in my pocket anymore. So, do I have the wrong thing? See? Nerves.
Hang on, I got you.
Got it?
Give me 2 seconds.
But isn't it pretty? Yeah. So, ready? The US gifting market and the mental health market are worth $2.7 trillion. The customized gift market is at $1.2 trillion, and and the personalized gift is $26 billion, and the millennial women is who we believe will gift this product the most. They'll give it to caregivers, teachers, people they care about, because what if it's your daughter? What if it's your wife, your sister, your brother? Like, wouldn't you want them to feel better? I know I do. Our initial sales come from e-commerce. We already actually have a bunch of joint venture partners who signed up to help us distribute. People like Bob Proctor's group, Les Brown, Marsha Weeder, Mary Morrissey, all these self-development people already jumped on board. So our future sales are software subscription. We're going to be developing the AI once this product is in revenue. We're going to do white labeling, licensing, and we'll have add-on products as well as data collection. We have competition, everybody does, but ours is on demand, available 24/7 in your voice, and it's accessible, and as well as AI enabled. In our milestones, we're going to be starting with milestone 1, development and manufacturing, because that's most important. Without that, you have nothing, right? Our AI software development will begin. We'll implement those LOIs with our joint venture partners. Milestone 2, launch the AI version. We'll hit the retail stores and partnerships, as well as white label sales, and the product deployment will be in the third quarter for international. Third milestone. Words. We've already established a lot of things in our traction map. The C Corp has been established. We have 5 prototypes. We've obtained the 20 LOIs. The trademark is approved, the patent is filed, and we have additional patents to be filed. Our manufacturing partner has been chosen. So that's huge. If anybody's ever manufactured anything, that is the toughest part. I've gone through 32 people trying to get that done, so that in itself is a reason to celebrate. Let me tell you why we'll win. I've spent 25 years in hardware and software, and I know what it takes to get stuff done. I know what it takes to get it to market. And we have people like Cheryl Goodman, who launched all of Sony's AI products, as well as Qualcomm. Doug Edwards launched OxyClean and CatChow, so they know how to build big brands. And Stuart Morey worked with Dun & Bradstreet, Merrill Lynch, Allison Maslin, a bunch of people to help us raise the money. And we also have additional advisory board people who are specialists in launching products. Our pre-seed round is $500,000. What we plan to do with that is our product development, marketing expenses, and operating expenses. What we're looking for is introductions to other joint venture partners, people like, I don't know, Oprah, anyone? So, Gwyneth Paltrow, I mean, even Snoop Dogg has an affirmation CD at this point. Who knew? And we are looking for a COO to help us get it all done, because it's a lot. Affirmations are what cause us to keep moving every single day. I mean, whether you know it or not, you've got just do it, one day at a time. You can do it. So just think of all the things, all the signs. Every time you walk into a store, it's about affirming who you are and what you can accomplish. And I'm here to accomplish a lot, so thanks for coming tonight. That's it.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Next, please join me in welcoming Jesus Leos, founder of Harvest. Round of applause.
Hello, my name is Jesus Leos, and I represent Harvest. I have a deep connection to farming. I come from a long line of farmers, and I also have my own regenerative project. Since post-pandemic, there's been a rise in food prices, and global conflicts continue to disrupt the food supply chains, putting a strain on the consumer's wallet. Add this to the hidden dangers in our food due to chemicals. Harvest creates a community of backyard growers dedicated to providing fresh, affordable, chemical-free produce, so as not to rely heavily on transporting food from other cities or countries. Your local community grows food to feed itself. So how does it work? Simple. We connect local backyard growers directly to consumers. Local backyard growers can sell directly to consumers on our website and app. For those shopping at farmers markets, here's a new affordable way to buy local, chemical-free produce and still support your local economy. For those growing food in your backyard, you can join Harvest to sell your extra produce and earn income, or grow exclusively as a side hustle. Let's revolutionize the way a community feeds itself and is self-sustainable. Our hubs will also function as a community center. Expect educational sessions on growing food, partnerships with local schools for school lunch programs, art exhibits where local artists can showcase sustainable art themes. I'm a little nervous. Art themes, and I forgot my script. All right, so target market. The organic produce market is a 62 billion industry. Our target market of community-supported agriculture is worth 225 million and climbing each year. Within this market is our target customer, the contemporary buyer, which is someone who values local purchases, shops online, and supports local food stands and organic and farmers markets over grocery chains. As you can see, 26% buy produce online, 18% shop at mom and pop grocery stores, 12% shop at farmers markets, and 10% buy from local food stands. They support local and sustainability. So our competitors, Misfit Markets and community-supported agriculture boxes are out there, but Harvest stands out by offering chemical-free, locally sourced, and affordable produce. All produce will be locally grown and free of chemicals. So our revenue model is simple. 75% will go to the growers, 25% will go to us. We're also introducing a $4.99 subscription plan that offers exclusive deals, recipes, educational resources, and much more. Harvest will also tap into community crowdfunding to support sustainability efforts, such as reforestation projects within each community, community gardens, and educational programs. The community will lead the success of each hub within each city. So our next steps is to sign up backyard growers, partner with the local city for a test pilot program, and collaborate with local organizations dedicated to food sustainability, such as the Abundant Table, to increase the success of each program. Now, our next steps, if you can scan this QR code, and sign up as a backyard grower, join our customer waitlist, or be part of the Harvest team. And while not raising money at this moment, I am always happy to speak with early investors. Join Harvest, and let's grow something incredible together.
Thank you, Jesus. Next we have Masa Gadarpur, the founder of HomeBuddies.
Also, glad she just pronounced my surname because a long one and it's difficult to Gadarpur.
Masa.
Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Masa. I'm so excited to introduce you HomeBuddies. So this is a story. I'm an international student. This is my second master degree. I've been working in tourism area for several years, and when the COVID hit, I had to change my career. So I just came here for my second master degree MBA in California Lutheran University. So I just asking for affordable housing. So a school gave me the 10 homestay, which they never respond my emails, and I had to call them from another country. And I was so lost and I didn't know what to do exactly for housing, and it was not easy. So this is a problem for international students. They have a limitation of time. We can only work 20 hours a week, yeah? And it's not fun. International students don't have so much fun. It just have lots of problem. And this, at the top of that is the cost of the renting. So based on that, we're just trying to find the housing. Right now in United States, we have more than 1 million international students, and total we have 75 million total college students. Out of 10, 1 out of 10, they have a rate of homeless. So, and 1 out of 5, they are insecure for the accommodation. So this is the percentage that you can see for lacking of a stable housing for college students in United States. They are just part of that. So based on what you can see, there are just few of the states that you can see: Florida, Texas, Georgia, California. All of them, more than 20% of the students totally have a problem with housing. So this is a story. This is a real story for me. This is Judith, 71 years old. Her kids just gone, and she was lonely, and no one just take care of her. I remember the first time I came here, I was shocked at why senior people are so lonely and isolated because of the fast pace of life. So they cannot take care of the senior people. So when I went to the house, I found it kind of sad house because she was lonely, and we started to hang out. We're just cooking, talking. I talk about Persian culture, and she talk about the American culture. But obviously, it just ended up by cooking Persian food, you know, obviously, and it just fun. So everything changed. She just started to have more smiling and laughing, and we talking. She cut down the rent for me, more than 30%. And I made her happy. She's not lonely anymore. So for grocery, for anything, I was there to just help her. And this is a really true story for, it can be happen for all United States, for students and senior people. Right now, we have 14 million senior people who are lonely. And in 2030, this is gonna be increased to 61 million people. That half of them, they are in danger of isolation. So what I want to do, I mean, we can do is that the platform that connecting senior people with students, both are struggling. A student with financial, I mean, a student life is just broke, right? I mean, they need more help. And elderly people are so isolated, especially in the United States, because people don't have time. How about we are connecting together, and there are lots of empty rooms that because they don't trust a student, they cannot invite them. So we can help them. It's not only about housing; it can be for mentorship too. And we want to ensure both parties have safety. So we're gonna work on a check each month. Are they okay together? Otherwise, we can change it. So how it works, it's gonna be coming from background check, and we're gonna be sure that both parties are matched together. Senior people hate online stuff, which is, I'm not sure they're good or bad, maybe they're right. But for any reason, we are going and just talking to them in person to see that, hey, what do you want? What kind of character do you want? I mean, do you prefer to read with someone, or prefer to just cooking or listening to music? So you're just going by phone call and Zoom, and we're checking with both sides. This is business model. 10% of the renting, which is already cut off by 30 to 40%, is just going to the HomeBuddy. And out of this 10%, 2% of that gonna be donating to senior people. I truly believe senior people need help. And international students need help. It's not about the home, it's gonna be mentorship, it's gonna be learning about culture, it's gonna be all empty rooms that get useless, and we can use it for both parties. So, and we have a rental contract. Right now, the market size is 50 million elderly people right now, which is gonna be double in almost less than 10 years. And we have a 20 million student. So just imagine how much they are paying. So there are other people who are already in the market, and they can be the potential future partnership or acquisition. As you can see, so they're not only us, there are going to be more people. And the marketing strategy, we can go by senior services for the senior residents, and there are lots of community that they already know senior people, and they can help us. Hey, they have the issues, we can introduce them, and they cannot be lonely. Especially right now, we already can start it by California Lutheran University. There are lots of problems by just introducing together that we can solve them. So it's not just a platform. I believe it can be movement to helping isolation. I believe many of you know at least one senior people or one student that one of them is struggling by isolation or financial. We can match them all together. This is my email address, this is my LinkedIn, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Moxzey. Next, we're going to welcome up Bryn Kinder, founder of eQuilibrynt.
Hello. My name is Bryn Kinder. I'm the owner and founder of eQuilibrynt Consulting. I work with biopharma companies to accelerate drug development in order to deliver transformative therapies to patients. I have a master's degree in chemistry and a minor in art. And I've used those two skills across the whole development of drug development at Riata, Iovance, Taysha, and Jasky. So those two skills actually taught me problem solving and storytelling. And I'm really proud to say that I'm actually one of the few companies that got to see the story of Riata. And it went through two key inflection points to get a drug on the market. And I'm really excited that another company I worked at has a drug coming, hopefully being approved in February of this year. So, what I want you to know about drug development, there's three things. One, it's really expensive. Two, it's very risky. And it also takes a lot of time. So to bring it from the lab into animal studies, and then, if you're the lucky few, to actually get positive data at that step, your job is to deliver a key package of all the data and convince FDA that your drug is not only safe, but it's also effective. The second key inflection point is when, okay, your drug is now being put into human people. And now you have to take all that data, and if it's positive, which you don't know, it's a very low success rate. Once it's positive, you have to get that data all prepped up in a nice little package for FDA. And that is what's between sales. Time is up.
No, it's not.
That was my timer. I should be telling you about drug development. Anyway, what I'm going to tell you is prep. I don't want to minimize this. Literally, I worked on a submission that if you stacked up all the paper that went into submission, you would have to, it would be as tall as the Eiffel Tower. Like, think about how much paper that is. And before electronic deliveries, they would literally deliver all of the papers in not one, but multiple semi-trucks. So that really tells you how much work there is. It goes anywhere from, once you have good data, to when submitting the drug. It goes anywhere from 3 weeks to 2 years. And that's not okay. And I want to tell you that if you can speed it up by just 1 day, that equates to $1 million in value for the companies. But the people, process, and technology, they're not set up. And it's really hard when you get to this stage. The patients are waiting for a safe and effective treatment, and the companies really want to deliver it to them. But they're under pressure, and I know about being under pressure. It doesn't always bring out the best in people. The resources are limited. There's varying level of experience and skill. The data is disorganized, there's highly manual work, and there's siloed and inconsistent communication. Now, these companies are really small. They may not even have a drug on the market. They have a forecasted revenue that is pretty high, but they don't have much leeway when it comes to runway. The leadership is mixed with people who've done this before, but also young talent that's just excited to be here along for the ride and to get it done. So what they have to do is they have to outsource, and they use vendors and consultants like me. So that's where I come in. I have people, process, and technology. That is the core approach that I use in my consulting. And what it does, it prioritizes for companies what is important. It empowers leadership with reliable updates, but most of all, it lets the people doing the work focus on execution. So I've shown you this before, but I wanted to let you know where I come in. I have experience all throughout the drug development cycle, but today I'm going to focus on the prep work, the truckloads of work. My company wants to develop 500, wants to speed up development by 500 days, but also reduce costs along the way. So in my discovery phase, it's really, I've learned from problem solving, you have to understand the problem before you can really provide a solution. So this is where I look at people, process, and technology. It's a company level discovery phase, but it's also an asset level discovery phase. And at the end of this phase, I meet with the leadership teams and the core stakeholders, and I propose a solution. Now this is the fun part. This is where I come in. This is my jam. I love the implementation phase. This is where I can really see the teams come together. I can see them, I can talk to leadership and give them the story that they need. I want them to track, I want to make sure I'm tracking what's important, but also showing them the progress that their employees and their strategy come into picture. And so I'm going to show you how I did this for NDA preparation. So I realized, I've been told, NDA, that's new drug approval. It's probably too late to tell you that, but what it means is it's what's between you and sales. So what this dashboard represents is the truckload of work, is the integration of data systems, it's the source of truth for leadership. It's tracking over 150 documents and the work of multiple people. And what I really think is pretty cool is that it also provides how close are we. It's a race to the finish. And those donuts actually mean success for the team. It means that they're celebrating. So much so that
donuts and drugs.
So much so that my first client actually hired me to make that dashboard. And they actually wanted to have donuts at their kickoff meeting. So it's not just about the green donuts and the team celebrating because the work's done, the leadership, they're cheersing each other with some champagne.
Cheers.
Got the donuts cheersing. But also, it's one step closer for patients to getting a transformative therapy that could potentially save their lives. And it also represents people, process, and technology coming together. Stop by my booth. This is just one of the tricks I have up my sleeve. Thank you to my team of donut eaters. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryn. Last but not least, we are welcoming up Marty Stevens-Hebner, founder of Later Life Living.
It is not an interesting story. It's really dumb. Thank you so much, Jesse. Really appreciate it. So yeah, Happy New Year. Hi, I'm Marty Stevens-Hebner, and I'm here to talk about later life living. When your parents grow old, it's a challenge for the entire family, especially if you're the adult child. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will, because 10,000 Americans are turning 65 every single day, and they're living longer and longer. Welcome to the age of longevity, where in 10 years, there'll be more older adults needing care than minor children. That is a first in human history. And, sorry, I'm not off book yet either. Collectively, older adults spend $9 trillion a year. But the golden years ain't so golden, as my late father used to say, and nobody really knows what services they need. It's especially hard for the adult children because they're tasked with finding and vetting the services and professionals that their parents need. What if Dad joins the 6.7 million people with Alzheimer's disease? Where's the roadmap for that? Medical and care alone will cost $400,000, and there are so many more services that Dad's going to need. What do you do about that? Enter later life living to rescue the beleaguered sandwich generation. Our SaaS platform is the AI-enabled two-sided marketplace that provides a personalized plan and timeline, and that connects people directly to the trusted professionals who can provide those solutions for what they need. It's kind of like Angie's List, but on steroids. Our SaaS platform provides, I'm so sorry about this, using AI and automation, we provide a customized plan and timeline. There's also a Q&A room our users can come back to again and again to get answers on demand for their most pressing issues. There we go. And there are just a few simple steps involved. Tell later life living about your parent situation. Read through the AI-generated personalized plan. Click on the links to find local professionals who can provide those solutions. Then click one more time, and you can set up a consultation. It's that easy. Subscription fees cover both sides of the marketplace. For all adult children and their parents to get access to their personalized plan and the Q&A room, it's just $19 a month. Sometimes people just want to talk through the whole situation, and so there's a dedicated aging expert for just $195 a month. On the professional side, it's $30 a month or $300 annually. And they can pay an additional fee to enhance their listings or be featured on our blog, our newsletter, or in our podcast. The potential in Southern California alone is over $1 billion. Going nationwide, the potential is $28 billion. We got a lot of people in Southern California. Our competitors are old legacy platforms and companies that provide limited services. The directories that are senior specific are only that, directories. Our SaaS platform is the only one that provides a personal plan and timeline and that Q&A room where people can get answers on demand. We begin beta testing later this month here in Los Angeles and Ventura counties, barring any additional injuries. And the directories are, and we're going to be onboarding our first 500 professionals using our current contact lists, networks, and organizations. Plus, we'll be out there providing presentations to law firms and their clientele. We'll use those channels to onboard our first 1,000 users, and we'll also add a strong presence at senior-oriented events. We will also be providing those presentations to the clientele of law firms, care companies, and more. We'll also use those channels when we'll expand to other major cities in the U.S., and we will ignite our growth nationally by forming alliances with national organizations that are focused on seniors like AARP, and also the professional organizations that cater to those people, to seniors, and like the American Bar Association. Our powerful growth to $56 million in year 5 is fueled by our exceptional offerings, excellent service, and the ability to address each user's unique needs during this very challenging time in the life of the family. The team behind Later Life Living has extensive experience in the senior services sector and has already created and launched a successful business in that sector. I'm the founder and CEO, and not only do I have my own personal experience with my own parents, I'm also an award-winning entrepreneur who has worked with older adults, their families, and the professionals who provide services to them for over 10 years. I'm a nationally recognized later life expert, and also I host the podcast, How to Move Your Mom and Still Be on Speaking Terms Afterward. Yes. So we'll have our MVP ready by the end of this month, where we'll start onboarding the first 500 professionals. And then we will have all the AI embedded by year's end. Phase 2 is all about providing the services to city after city beginning in late 2025. And phase 3 is about going nationwide and not only serving users and professionals, but also being available for corporations to provide to their employees as a company benefit. In later life, it's really easy for older adult children and their older parents to get lost in the haze of aging. Later life living brings safety and comfort to older adults and provides some much needed sanity, which anybody here who's had to deal with this, as an adult child knows, and hopefully some more sleep for them. So, right now you can sign up at my table for our wait list, and thank you so much for listening.
That concludes the first part of Demo Day. Can I please have you join me in giving a round of applause to all the entrepreneurs? This is the first time that the majority of them have ever talked about their businesses publicly. The first time ever. This is the first time that all of them have presented in a forum like this. So actually I would like to have one more round of applause for my entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to welcoming you back in one of our future events.